Hey guys, this is In Cyanosis with Higher Vibes Tribe and Healing Roots Life. How goes it, guys? How are you? And most importantly, how do you feel right now in this moment in your body? How do you feel? That's such a key to navigating our reality. So, for the sake of recording, today is the 22nd, I believe, May 22nd. It is a new moon in Gemini, and we will be talking all things quantum healing within this multi-dimensional reality in which we all reside. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to jump on and ask, and if you have any comments or if you resonate with anything that I am saying as I go into some of these things, please feel free to share your thoughts and feelings, opinions, and experiences, okay? Because it truly is together we rise, guys. We learn from each other's stories because at the end of our life, right, when we look back, and it's all Akashic, it's all record of Akashic, it's the stories that, we've told and that we've experienced, and it's all stories, right? So it's the lessons we've learned through the experiences we've had and what we've overcome and the love in our heart. That's what goes with this. So I want to talk about reality issues and anxiety and quantum healing, right? While navigating this multi-dimensional reality, especially if you resonate with being an empath or a star seed, or you resonate with what it is to feel like you're here to heal the collective. You're a healer in this world, but yet you've also, you've experienced your own forms of trauma through this life and stuff. So what does it look like to have reality issues and anxiety? What does that look like to you guys? Are you familiar with trauma? Do you resonate with having a trauma baseline? And what does that look like to you? Do you know? Um, when we talk about our electromagnetic field and electromagnetic sovereignty, and we speak in terms of, it's the gaps in our electromagnetic field, right? It's through which we are malleable and susceptible to misinformation and narcissistic projection. Okay, guys? So let me just repeat that for anyone who just jumped on, right? It's the gaps in our electromagnetic field through which we are malleable and susceptible to misinformation and narcissistic projection. Okay, and knowing your innate cellular structure and knowing which gates are open within you, it helps to kind of easier identify the gaps through which you come into life with. Okay, it's a shortcut through the overlays, it's a shortcut through the programs, and it's a shortcut through the traumas. Knowing where you come into life already experiencing disharmonious pinging, and you're already, coming into life with specific gates within your structure that are open. And it's those gates that are triggered. And when you're triggered, right, emotionally or mentally or whatever it is that's triggering an reaction within you, right? It's through one of the gates that are open within you. And that is as individual as your DNA. That is as intrinsically individual, as unique as you are. And every person is different, and personally speaking, like when I do readings one-on-one with people, some of the first things I do is I play a little 3-question game with them to find out their emotional baseline, to see where they are emotionally on an unconscious level, because that's a soul marker. for them. And then from that, I pull their Jovian archive to find out what gates are open within them and what pulls them out of their sovereignty, right? And then we look at those gates, and then we look at, okay, where am I already imbalanced and experiencing cellular deficiencies, right? So this is very deep, and this is quantum healing, but the people who gravitate to me for these quantum healings, they're here on a soul level to heal their soul, right? They've been down the ringer through like mental health and mainstream doctors, and none of that helped them. And they're here because they want to figure out what it is, because they know they're here for a reason. They know they're here to help heal the collective, but they can't figure out why they're being triggered or why they're still experiencing disharmonies in their life, right? Because they're doing the work. You're doing the work, you're trying, but you're met within your external reality for whatever reason. Something's triggering, albeit like something on social media is triggering a response or a reaction from you, or a friend or family, or even your own children, right? Or your parents or whatever is triggering these emotional reactions, and out of nowhere you're just reacting, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I was not in this place, like I was somewhere else, like emotionally, and then all of a sudden I'm met with this energy rising to the surface because of some whatever's triggering me, and I can't figure that out, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Gaps in your electromagnetic field. That's how you're malleable. That's where they get in, and how to identify that, right? That's the key to electromagnetic sovereignty. So I've got the book here with me, The God Design: Secrets of the Mind, Body, and Soul by Kelly Marie Kerr. And I'm actually sitting out at this little park where I've already tapped into my, my sensation, my satisfaction. That's what feels good to me. So how do I get back into my body? That's key for me, because my baseline is to, like, my default stress response is to associate, to auto accommodate, to fawn. So for me personally speaking, every day I do things to tap back into my body, like movement medicine, you could say, right? And this morning it was walking my miles to the park, doing some laps, and then singing and swinging, right? Because we ultimately, guys, we are all just like, 4-year-olds trapped in these adult bodies, not really knowing how to navigate our own emotions, because we were never taught. And if you didn't catch the last quantum tarot video I did, it's really long. It was 2 hours. It was a couple of days ago, but I invite you to go check that out, because I really dive deep into these dichotomies, these dynamics, and I use, various decks, various, oracle decks to help with the symbols, right? And I go really deep into it with the science as well. But when we're talking about electromagnetic sovereignty, and you're looking at like your Jovian archive, and this is something that you can Google. If you're not familiar with, then please, I invite you to Google Jovian archive and check your chart out. But I'm going to reference a few things from this book here, The God Design by Kelly Marie Kerr. When we talk about the timing of the sacred secretions, we're talking about like Kundalini awakening, right? Raising your sacred secretion within you, right? And knowing these things, right? 1 Corinthians 15:41, there is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star in glory. And that glory is energy, right? So when we're speaking in terms of the microcosm and the macrocosm, as above, so below, as within, so without, right? It's all connected. So if wherever, the planetary alignments fall on, or whatever's being pinged, it is affecting us. When today is a new moon, New moons are a time to set intentions, right? To start, because it's energy. It's energy. So I'm going to be quoting from page 114, the sacred timing on chapter 30, but talking in terms of like the astrological constellations, like the star sun signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, that represents the body, okay? Energetically speaking. The moon is representational of the soul. That's why the unconscious emotional baseline, aka, translates into the quotient of bioluminescence of light within your soul, right? The moon is pinging that and affecting that. So wherever the moon is at, it's affecting our unconscious emotions, right? Our thoughts, our emotions, how we feel, right? It's the traumas within us, right? And the sun, it's the spirit, our conscious heart, the spirit, right? And then when you look at Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury, they are representational of the five physical senses, right? And biblically, they're the five kings that were put to death by having their necks stood on, you could say. But we are talking in quantum physics. It's the implicate order, as quoted by physicist David Bohm. All right. It's the evidence for this hypothesis can be found in the scientific study of bioelectric and biochemical processes. So I'm going to read a quote out of from the December 2011 Volume 9 Neuroquantology. So this is speaking to the science of neuroquantology and bioplasma concepts of consciousness, okay? Because it is all energy. It's all energy. So the idea of the coupling of the bioelectrical and the biochemical process in the human organism is alien to the classical research on the psychological life. This new approach postulates a holistic account of the human being and his environment. The model, in referring to psychology, is very inspiring because it postulates the reception of information from the environment, not only via his sense receptors, but also through the entire mass of the biological organism, understood as organic, piezoelectric, pyroelectric, and semiconductors. Okay, so what this means is, we can say Plutarch defined it as the divine spirit is to the soul what the soul is to the body. All right, this means that in the same way that the sun reflects the light off of the moon down to the earth, the spirit shines light into our body via our soul. The moon's energy is magnetic and the sun's energy is electric. Together, they are the electromagnetic female moon and male sun. They are the essence of all forms, right? And I know this is very deep, guys. And this is, so for those of you who are still with me, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I want to dive into some things that we can kind of do if we're experiencing, even to kind of, regardless if we're currently experiencing, these are things that I have incorporated into my kind of lifestyle that have benefited me over the course of, the years that I've been pulled out and healing my traumas. And these are some things that, I love that Kelly Marie Kerr has them all listed. And these are actually taken from the Essenes, the Gnostic Gospels. So the group of the Essenes, the ancient race of immovable light beings, you could say. So these are some of the concepts taken out of that sect of belief systems, but they really are beneficial to utilize today, especially if you resonate with being a starseed, an empath, a light walker, or if you're just struggling with traumas or being triggered emotionally or having like mental anxiety or physical anxieties come up. You know, if you're not living, if your baseline is not like joy, harmony, and ease. So if you're struggling with anything mental, physical, emotional, you know, whatever it is, start incorporating these practices into your lifestyle, okay? So this is again from the God Design Secrets of the Mind, Body, and Soul, written by Kelly Marie Kerr, from page 158. All right. And this is, these correlate with the practices of the ancient race of immovable light beings. And this can be connected back to, you know, Atlantis, times of Atlantis, okay, these teachings. So there's 6 of them, 6 things that you can incorporate into your body, into your life, right? And they're so easy. They're so easy. You can do them, you know. And if you're interested, I'll take a picture of this page in the book and do a post on it later. But the first one is breathing exercises, okay? Simply pausing to take some long, slow, deep breaths will help. Better still, there are numerous books and articles on breathing techniques to study if you would like to get more in depth in that, you know. And that's, you can flip your dorsal vagal nerve with simple breathing exercises, like breathing from 1 to 10, and your inhale is the first 4 seconds and your exhale is the last 6. So it's like breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And if you do that 3 to 10 times, that will flip your dorsal vagal nerve. And this is speaking into like the science, the neuroscience of it. So just do, and also it helps to bring in more oxygen and deliver more oxygen to all the cells in your body. It helps with that Pisces salt. So it also helps with the emotions, the disharmonic emotions that we're feeling, just by doing simple breathing exercises. And you can do that anywhere, anytime. You go to the bathroom multiple times a day, just making the conscious choice to, while you're going to the bathroom, doing some breathing exercises, like, or whatever works for you. Maybe you drive several times a day to and from work, and being conscious of, oh, okay, I'm going to take this time to consciously breathe. And that will make a world of difference with your harmonics and how you feel in your body. Number 2, showers and baths. The sensation of water on the body relaxes us and therefore helps the body to switch into the parasympathetic mode. Now, parasympathetic mode is like, think paralyzed, right? Parasympathetic, that's the rest and relax mode. When our sympathetic nervous system is kicked on, our adrenals are kicked on, we're in stress response. And when our adrenals are kicked on and we're in stress response, it doesn't matter if we're sitting on our couch in front of the TV or scrolling on our phone. If our adrenals are kicked on, we're in a stress response, our immune system is kicked off, right? And then we can build up that adrenal fatigue and stuff like that. So for me personally, something that I encompass and add into my daily routine is when I'm in the shower in the morning, like before I did my walk here, I say my prayers in the shower. Like, I start with a hot shower. I'm saying my prayers, severing time. I revoke all contracts made conscious and unconscious in all timelines, dimensions, realities, past, present, futures, and now, which pull me out of harmony with unconditional self-love, my integrity, and God's divine love path, like whatever works for you. I consciously choose with my free will to be here now. In my sovereignty, I am safe. I invoke my sovereignty. Whatever works for you, and then I thank God, source creator. I give gratitude for my family, my children, my life, my husband, my apartment, my animals, everybody that's brought me any contrast and lessons. I give thanks and pray for the family that's crossed over, my ancestors, my angels, my guides, like whatever works for you. There's no wrong way to do it. This is something I do while in the shower, while it's still in the hot water, right? And then I start singing. I'll sing in the shower. Like I'll do some mantras or sing, put on music, whatever. It's different every day for me, but these are things that I incorporate into my every single shower, right? And then right before as I'm washing my hair and stuff, as I'm doing my, I'm washing my body, doing my routine, as I'm doing my prayers, doing my mantra singing and stuff. And then right before I get out, I will flip the water to really cold, and I'll stay under the cold water for like 30 seconds to a minute, from hot shower to really cold water, and then I cut it off. And what that does is it will flip that, regardless of what state, it will flip that dorsal vagal nerve, and you're, especially if you're feeling anxious. So even if you're having a moment, something happened, you're going through something traumatic emotionally, even if you've already had your morning shower per se, if you're struggling and you don't feel safe to share with anyone, like you don't have a space to work through this emotional trigger, go get your ass in a shower or a bath, or whatever works for you. But that's something that will flip that dorsal vagal too, as well as the breathing techniques. So these are things that I incorporate into my daily lifestyle. All right, number 3, singing and humming. The vagus nerve is linked to our vocal cords, okay? Therefore, singing or humming a sound or song that makes you feel good will raise your vibratory frequency. And that's why I literally run around singing like higher vibrational consciousness music. I do mantras. I'm constantly humming. If I'm in public, if I'm outside of my apartment, I don't care what people think of me. What people think of me is none of my business, right? So I'm not answering other people's opinions or questions. I'm in my own little bubble with my music on or my mantras on, and I'm just like, walking around, smiling, singing, hugging trees, and doing my thing, right? Again, these are things that I do to help me, navigate my reality. All right, number 4, exercise. Growth hormones produced when exercising assist the vagus nerve and the brain's mitochondria, thus helping to reverse cognitive decline. Yoga, in particular, increases the calming neurotransmitter gamma aminobutyric acid, so it's GABA, G-A-B-A, which facilitates the parasympathetic nervous system dominance. So when we're talking about parasympathetic nervous system dominance, we're talking basically, having reset your baseline. So when we are in parasympathetic dominance, that means the majority of your time spent in your body is ease, calm, harmony, joy, because you're relaxed and you're calm, but for the majority of us, who resonate with, if you resonate with anything I put out, then you resonate with having an a trauma baseline, an emotional or mental or whatever it was, a trauma baseline. So it's really important to get into, get out of sympathetic dominance and get into parasympathetic dominance, and just incorporating these little things into your daily routine, albeit for me, like every day is different. Some days I'll go walk around the block and sing or listen to a meditation. Some days I'll do like yoga. Some days I'll do Tai Chi and Qigong. Some days I'll walk to the park, kick my shoes off, and, do listening to a meditation and do like yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong moves together, breathing techniques. It's whatever I feel I need, in any given moment. Like I allow my body, I allow my intuition to guide me to what helps me, right? And that's really important when we're talking about, parasympathetic dominance over sympathetic dominance. All right, and number 5, massage. So massaging the feet and the neck can help to stimulate your vagus nerve. A neck massage can help reduce seizures, and a foot massage can help to lower your heart rate and blood pressure. So an acupressure massage too can help to activate the vagus nerve. Something that's really good to do, guys, especially anytime you're feeling, stressed or upset, but just as a daily practice, For me, when I get out of the shower and I put like oils on my face, I'll massage the back of my neck, and then as I'm putting my socks on, just give my feet a little rub massage and just thank them for, always providing me the stability I needed in any given moment and carrying me wherever I need to go, just giving gratitude and thanks for these, our physical bodies too. So, and number 6, smiling. So, controlled scientific experiments have demonstrated that smiling stimulates the vagus nerve in a very beneficial way. Smiling also has a positive effect on the vagus nerve of people nearby. A subtle smile can be projected inwardly during meditation to open the heart and facilitate a spontaneous relaxation response in chronically constricted areas. Okay, thus one can smile to feel happy and not just smile when we are already feeling happy. This is something that I incorporate into my daily practice, even if I'm alone, just like when I'm singing or I'm doing my yoga or I'm walking or I'm just, doing my dishes, just smiling and being grateful that I have the opportunity to smile, to feel good, like that I have this human experience, right? Like it's so important to smile, so, and these are simple things that don't cost any money, guys. It don't require a prescription. We don't have to go to a doctor to get this information. And these 6 things incorporated into our daily habits, our daily lifestyle, even if it's just for like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, Oh, I got a moment. The kids are satiated. I'm going to go over here, bend over, do a forward fold and do some deep breathing, or like whatever it is, in any given moment, just incorporating these simple things, it'll help you attune to your own light. It'll help you attune and open your gates, Another wonderful thing that wasn't mentioned in here is the Bija mantras. And if you're not familiar with the Bija, let me spell it out, Bija. Bija mantras, that goes through and opens up all your chakras. So it goes through the each sound, because each chakra, from our root, our sacral, our solar, our heart, our throat chakra, our anja, our third eye, our crown, each one has a specific color associated to it, but it's also got a specific energy, which is why it's got a specific color, and that energy has a specific tone and frequency and vibration, right? Because we're all energy. So going through, there's a great 8-minute on YouTube. If you were to type in Bija mantras on YouTube, it's like an 8-minute video. I put that on sometimes while I'm getting dressed out of the shower and just sing along with it. And that will open up and attune your chakras as well and help move any densities, any stagnant energies, guys, because it's all about movement, right? Energy can never be created nor destroyed, and emotion is the byproduct of past experience. That's a neuroscientist, Dr. Joe Dispenza quote right there. Emotions are the byproduct of past experience, right? And oftentimes it's the stories that we're telling ourselves, right, about ourselves that are based in someone else's opinions, that's is based upon someone else's story that they're telling themselves about themselves and how they navigate their reality. So, it's really good to get back into our innate sovereignty, and that's electromagnetic sovereignty. That's identifying where we have gaps in our auric field, identifying where we have these gaps in our electromagnetic field, identifying where we still have these openings for which people to come through and manipulate our emotions, right? And to manipulate our thoughts and to manipulate our consciousness and to hijack our consciousness and to manipulate our feelings, and all of that does when our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions and our consciousness are being manipulated, it takes our free will. We no longer have the God-given free will that we were innately gifted through just I exist, therefore I am free to create and navigate my reality. But if I'm minimizing my expression in any way, shape, or form based upon someone else outside of me's story, right, then I'm giving my power away to them. If I'm minimizing my expression, my choices, right, based upon someone outside of me's opinions or thoughts or feelings or comments or posts, or I don't want to do this because it'll offend this person or whatever, then we give our power away, and then we're no longer sovereign free creators, right? We're malleable. Then our choices are being affected. Our choices are being hijacked. Our choices are being manipulated. We're out of sovereignty and into, disharmony. So, and these are some of the things that we can look at, yeah, there's a trinity of laws to be observed, right? And that's physical harmony and cleanliness in one's surroundings, mental peace and clean thoughts and freedom from worldly cares, right? And then spiritual purity and complete isolation from impure currents of thought. Evolve these states from within, and without will surely take care of itself, right? And that's an honest desire. Honest desire, prayer must be first. And that's a quote from Introduction to Sociology by William Little, chapter 15 in Religion. So, when we pray and we ask for God's, grace and blessing and source, whatever, it's like I am conscious of the blessings. I always start my prayers by thanking God for all of my blessings, big and small, both the blessings that I am conscious of and the blessings that I am not aware of. And having the emotion of gratitude resonates on an extremely powerful frequency, and expressing it allows love, light, and contentment to grow in your life exponentially, right? Both internally and externally, right? So these are some things to think about, guys, as we navigate our reality and as we're watching, if you're tapped into mainstream in any way, shape, or form. I personally am not. I've been pulled out for years now, but then, stepping out of the chessboard and looking at it from a different level of perspective, it gives you the ability to kind of see the forest beyond the tree versus the other way around, And when we're talking about emotional traumas, mental, physical, sexual, spiritual traumas, and trust me, I am very fluid in all of that, right? Because I've personally experienced a great deal of it. But when we're talking about those types of things, trauma is the manifestation, you could say, of having an emotional reaction or an emotional response as a byproduct of an experience, albeit as a 6-month-old or a 4-year-old or a 50-year-old, it doesn't matter, having an emotional reaction, response, and having no way of self-soothing it, not having the ability or the know-how to self-soothe the emotion, so we bypass it, right? We reject it, resist it, deny it, disown it, and we push it down, and it becomes disharmonious energy that becomes stagnant within our form, shutting off chakras, and manifesting various states of dis-ease and illness and symptoms out of harmony with unconditional love and sovereignty. So these are some things that we can look at, you know. These are some things that we can identify, and if we can know where our individual gates are open, and we know our innate, you know, we know our gaps, because I come into life through this structure. This is my structure. This is my harmonics. These are the keys within my harmonics that play off key, off tone. Then I can go in and readjust the tone, right? I can, you know, how you tune your guitar, how you tune a piano. I can go in and attune it specifically, and going straight to the keys that are already off key versus, you know, spending all the time tuning every single key when it was just 3 that were playing a disharmonic note. You know, it bypasses a lot of the bull crap, and you can go straight through, you know, all the overlays and patterns and stuff. And then once you're there to the root of it, then you become aware of the patterns and the overlays, you know, and that's the type of work that I'm into. I like to help people, you know, identify their gates, identify the shadow contracts they have with themselves, right? So that they can edit their story and rewrite their code, yeah, and rewrite their magnetics, because we are innately worthy. We are innately sovereign, you know? And perhaps we just weren't aware of it, you know? And it's in this sovereignty, together we rise. So, thank you for being here. I know this was quite deep. Not many people can hang on this level of quantum awareness. So, if you've made it through this long, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here now. Thank you for helping me anchor in unconditional love through compassionate action. And most certainly it begins with self, you know. So, and that looks like I am worthy because I am. I am deserving because I am. You know, I am sovereign because I am. And now I'm going to start taking these little steps every single day to integrate my sovereignty into my daily routine. And, you know, as above, so below, as within, so without. Clear the gaps, attune the gaps, close the gaps, and your external reality will then become a reflection of your internal dichotomy. Harmonious and ease within, harmony and ease without. So, I love you guys. Live, love, be the light. Namaste.